Hey peeps, I am back with another video. It's your girl AmberCharmayne. Make sure you are subscribed. Hit that red button down below or red letters down below that say subscribe, and that will just ensure that you are able to keep up with my channel, and I will be so grateful for your support. Thank you all so much that do hit that subscribe button, and make sure you thumbs up and share this video with someone who would like to see it. So let's go ahead and get into this video. So y'all, I am hitting y'all with another story time. Let me tell you, all the story times to come are going to be so hilarious. So today's story time is going to be about how I beat this hoe in her little head. JK y'all, but no, seriously though, like, it's a fighting video. So I definitely don't condone violence, but what I do condone is standing up for yourself. If people try to bully you or try to act like they're gonna put their hands on you, especially when you super small, I am 4'10½", and I just don't play that, because you're not about to get one up on me. I'm too small for it. But I do condone standing up for yourself. And certain situations, I don't know how y'all grew up, but the way I grew up, some situations really do mean that you gotta hit a hoe in the head, period. So that's just where I'm at with it. That's where I'm coming from. Sorry if you do not agree. I promise y'all, do not make the first move. Do not start stuff. Do not be an instigator. But if it is brought to you in a major way, blow it up. So let's go ahead and get into this specific story. So this happened in 9th grade. Yeah, 9th grade. So I was going to this little raggedy charter school. It was raggedy. The concept was pretty good, which is why I went to it, but it was dumb. So that's really the whole situation in the first place, is that our school was so stupid that all this nonsense was able to happen and unfold in the most raggediest of ways. So pretty much there was this girl that everybody didn't like. And like, people would make fun of her because she, first of all, she already failed a couple grades, and I think she already had a baby at that point, right? Yeah, like she already had a kid, and we were in 9th grade. And she would draw on her eyebrows. She was light skinned, and she would draw on her eyebrows like super dark, like to the point where they really looked tattooed, and people would make fun of her. But mind you, little old me knew her from like elementary or something, so I would always like stand up for her. I'm always the person that I do not let people get bullied in front of me, and I just be like, stop, like let's not talk about that person, or I'll just laugh it off like, y'all stop. But I don't just sit there and let people get bullied or join in on bullying. I don't do that. So everybody out there, any youngins out there, don't be a bully and don't let people get bullied. If you are just letting it happen, you are a part of the problem. I would stand up for this girl. I would say, you know, don't bully her, whatever. I also had a party that year, and everybody was like, oh, who you gonna invite, who you gonna invite? And so then I made my little list of who I was inviting, and I put her on the list so she would be included and not feel left out. And everybody was like, no, take her off the list, take her off the list. And I was like, no, like, she's getting an invite, period. And I don't care if somebody has a problem with it. It's not your party, it's my party. And mind y'all, I have never been popular in my entire life. Like, there's been situations at schools where I wasn't, you know, the most bullied person, or, you know, people didn't really mess with me all like that. But I've never been like the highest on the totem pole. So that's also another reason why I'm like, I am not about to bully someone. I'm not about to make somebody the outsider and do what people have done to me to other people. Keep in mind, all that happened where, you know, I'm pretty much on this girl's team, even though she probably don't know it, but like, that's what it was. Pretty much, I'm gonna tell y'all what I found out after the fact of all this going down, because at the time I really didn't understand why this girl didn't like me. You know, as the school year went on, she just started being just too much. She was just, I don't know how it all started, but I just know that at one point it was just, we were just enemies, and I was just like, I don't want to be your enemy. But like, she just had fire in her eyes for me. Like, she just wanted it, period. She wanted to fight. So what I learned later on was that she thought that her boyfriend liked me, or that I liked her boyfriend, But mind you, I have my own boyfriend, and actually I really had 2 dudes at the school on my team. So I was just like, why does she think, like when I found everything out after the fact, I was like, why does she think that me and her boyfriend are talking? But oh yeah, she might have found out about this one thing that happened. But no, it really wasn't like something serious. So that school was in a church, y'all. So pretty much there was like parts of the school that would be blocked off at certain times of the day and stuff, because we weren't actually supposed to have access to that part of the church. So there was one time where one of the doors wasn't locked. One part of the school wasn't blocked off. Sometimes we would have to go like down in the basement, I think for art class or something like that. But we weren't supposed to be in there at that point in time, and like the lights were off or something. Even though light was coming in, it was still pretty dark. It was darker than the rest of the actual school. And for some reason, her boyfriend was in that part of the school, and then I went into that part of the school, and me and him were cool, and we were like talking or doing something, and he like picked me up, and I was like, you know, my legs were wrapped around him, and he like had a hold of me. Mind you, I'm 4'10" and a half, and he was like 6'3". So he was big. He was like chubby, but he was like not chubby, like not like have a stomach chubby, but he was thick. He was thick. Like he had some meat on him, and he was real tall, and he like picked me up. And then I was like, oh, put me down or whatever, because I was talking to my dude. Like I don't think I was in a relationship at that point, because I wouldn't have done nothing like that if I was in a relationship. But him and her, they would break up off and on, so it was hard to tell when they were on and when they were off. So I was like, put me down. So I don't know if she found out about that, and that's what sparked it. But also we had this IM thing at school, and I'm pretty sure I talked to him in IM like I talked to everybody else. And she might have been mad about that. And then me and him would just always like sit down. Like one time me and him had like a whole conversation about her and their relationship and stuff. But like I said, we were just cool. So he would talk to me about her too. Like it wasn't nothing between us. Like he was wrapped up in her at the end of the day. As far as I knew, I don't know what was going on in his head back then. But he never told me that he liked me. He never tried to get with me. The most that we ever did was when he picked me up. That's it. I don't know nothing else. But the hoe hated me, come to find out, over him. Even though she's the one who had him and I had my boyfriend. Like, girl, bye. So there were 2 situations, and there was one, the last situation is when we actually fought. But there was one situation where she pretty much like was running around the school building talking about fighting me and trying to fight me and trying to find out where I was. And I was like in our Spanish class, which was towards the front of the school, and we had an upper level and a lower level. So she was on the upper level and I was on the lower level. And then all the people in my Spanish class, and like my best friend was in there, Keisha, and I think our other friends were in there. I don't know if our one friend had already been expelled at that point. She might have been in there, but there were a couple other people. You know, I was pretty cool with most people there. So all of them were like just had me in the class, and they were kind of like protecting me. I don't know how they would tell it, but I feel like they were like, Amber, we're not gonna let her get to you, da 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 da, whatever. But it wasn't like I was hiding, like I was scared. It was just like, what are we fighting about? Like, that's your boyfriend, that's my boyfriend. And like we had an inkling that she might be mad about that, but like we didn't really know. Like really everything unraveled like years later. So pretty much she was running around the school yelling. Mind you, where are our teachers? Where is our principal? Like nobody's doing anything. They're just letting this girl act a fool. And I'm just like, oh my God, how's this happening? So on a whole nother separate day, mind you, me and this girl ride the same. Actually, did we ride the bus together? Either we rode the bus together this whole time, or she went over somebody's house and happened to be on my bus. Which, if that was the case, that means she set that up like that. Like she did that all on purpose in order to try and fight me. I was sitting kind of towards the middle of the bus, and as my stop is coming up, why does she walk down the aisle to throw something away? As the bus stops, I get up to get off, and she is like walking, and I kind of like, I didn't really step into the the walkway. I was barely in the walkway, y'all, because I knew she needed to come past to go sit back down. Why does she bump into my shoulder on purpose, and I wasn't even in her way? So at that point, I don't know exactly what happened at that point, but we pretty much started fighting. Like I told y'all at the beginning of the video, this girl is light skinned. I'm brown skinned. So, you know, if I turn red, it's gonna take a lot for me to turn red. For her to turn red, it don't take a lot for her to turn red. So pretty much we start fighting or whatever. She's clearly bigger than me. Everybody's bigger than me. At that point in time in my life, I was probably like 75 pounds. She probably was like 100. You know, most people probably think like, oh, Amber is about to get beat up, but this ain't my first fight, honey boo. And honestly, people my whole life when it came to middle school and high school acted like, oh, I'm gonna pick on Amber because it's gonna be easy, like an easy little clout booster for me because she's so small. Or, you know, I was quiet, like I was more so quiet than I am now these days, and I guess people thought like I wasn't gonna do nothing, but like actually that's not the case. Like I'm not the one to get ran over in any situation. So pretty much we start fighting. Here's the thing, I didn't want to get suspended. I did not want to get suspended. I was trying to avoid getting suspended, so I really wasn't trying to fight her, y'all. Like I did hit her a little bit, but I more so was trying to constrain her, which I was able to do for the most part. And then I backed, so everybody like cleared out the seats or whatever to watch the fight. You know, everybody surrounded around us on the bus, and I pushed her down into one of the seats, and I had her arms down. I think my knees were on her arms, so she's laying down, I'm on top of her, and then I was pressing against her. Oh, my knees weren't on her, I was pressing against her, so I was just laying flat on her, so her arms were like down and she couldn't move her arms, but I was pressing up, so I was pressing on her throat, and she would like couldn't breathe, and she was, it's not funny. Why? It's not funny, but it is funny because ho, you're dumb. She was like, I can't breathe, I can't breathe, I can't breathe. And I didn't want to, you know, put her to sleep and then get in real trouble. So it was only at that point where she really like, I could tell she really couldn't breathe because her whole freaking face was turning red and purple. Like I could tell she couldn't breathe for real. So I like pretty much let her up, and then the hoe started kicking me, and then that's when the bus driver had got a hold of me, and then I started kicking her back or whatever. But like she was all types of what's it called, red, pink, purple, and I was just like, girl, you thought that you were gonna, I don't know what you thought, but obviously you thought that you weren't gonna lose and that you weren't gonna look stupid, but that's exactly what happened, and you're dumb. And then the thing is that I told you I was really mostly trying to constrain her, which I was able to do for the most part, and I still got suspended. I still got suspended, y'all. I still got suspended. So really, I should have just beat her up. I really should have just beat her up because I still got suspended. Like, honestly, y'all, like, this is bad advice, but good advice. I do not condone no violence, but if people come to you and they, like, the girl bumped into me hard as crap on purpose. Like, don't let people like just outright punk you. Like, that's just not a thing that we can do, y'all. It's yeah, that's my little story time about how I had to fight this girl pretty much all over a boy. And that's another thing, like, do not fight girls over boys. Like, a whole bunch of stuff in my life, it always be about a boy. Even in college, like, this girl randomly stopped liking me because I was standing too close to her boyfriend at a party that was packed. Like, y'all, it's the insanity. Like, I just never get it. I never understand. But yeah, I hope y'all like this story time, and I need y'all to subscribe and to comment and to like and to share. Yeah, if y'all could do that for me, that would be amazing, and I will see you all in the next video.